have you ever seen those FNAF videos about, like, fixing every FNAF plush or ranking every FNAF character? Well, I kind of want to do something like that. But I didn't know what to do until I was going to do drawing a FNAF character. Now, I know this has been done before, but I'm pretty shit at drawing. So I do kind of want to see how I'm going to draw this. And I also won't be drawing every FNAF character in this video. I'm going to put this into parts, so this is only FNAF 1 for today. First, rule 1, no human characters. If you want to see human characters, they'll just be stick figures. Trust me, they're terrible. Second rule, I am not allowed to look up any how to draw FNAF characters. I am allowed to look at images online of the FNAF character, but I can't look up a tutorial. Sorry about that stutter, but props will not be counted. In FNAF 1, I am going to count a couple props just because there's not too many characters in FNAF 1. But, like, in FNAF 2, I'm not going to do the Freddy head or anything like that. I am allowed to pick which objects I don't want and do want, like, for example, the FNAF free box with all the toy animatronics. I am allowed, if I wanted to pick that, I am allowed to do that. But no, like, I don't have to do everyone. It's my choice if I want to do the props. With the rules out of the way, let's start with... Now, while I'm drawing Freddy Fazbear, let's talk about him. By the way, have you ever noticed, like, any real-life Freddy Fazbear, like, in the movie, or the Spirit Halloween animatronic, or that costume Freddy official guy that comes up every once in a while? They all make Freddy furry. What I mean by that, in the first game, he doesn't have any fur. He's just metal, which doesn't really make any sense because it might even be cheaper and look better to just add fur, because Freddy just, like, has a big metal plate around him, and it's just kind of weird. They realistically probably wouldn't have that. And also, the real-life Five Nights at Freddy's pizzeria that's going to open next year, they're probably going to make Freddy with fur, which I'm okay with it. I think it would be cool if we got an accurate Freddy anything. I also think that's kind of funny how we call every game Five Nights at Freddy's, Security Reach, Five Nights at Freddy's 3, I understand, but, like, Freddy in the name is pretty crazy. Right after the second game, Freddy didn't do crap. And also, Freddy's lore is pretty small. He got, like, killed when it was one of the kids that got killed and was lucky enough to go in Freddy Fazbear. I think I'm hating too much on Freddy Fazbear. I love him. He's the best man ever. Also, I like to hear a lot of stories of how people got into, like, how they started knowing what FNAF was and started getting every merch, playing all the games. I love to hear those stories. They all have a unique story to tell. Some people just watch Markiplier. Some people just found a video on the internet. Some people just maybe found it on Steam and started to play it. But mine is just pretty goofy. So, Knowing Orange, I don't know if you ever heard him before, but I used to watch a lot of him, and he always would talk about, like, Slender Man, Piggy, Granny, and Bendy, and stuff like that, and honestly, he talked about Five Nights at Freddy's. And then when I figured out he had a gaming channel, which was, now I think about it, awful, but he did do a lot of FNAF videos, and that's when I started learning about it, and then I, watched more than that, like gameplay videos and merch videos and stuff like that. And also, I think the game that was out at the time was Sister Location. And now I think about it, if I get the Sister Location, that's going to be awful. And also, I think I have a Knowing Orange plush somewhere in this house. I don't think I got rid of it. I hope I didn't. But I don't think I ever watched Knowing Orange. I don't think I would be a FNAF fan. I'm not joking. And also, that was, like, the peak merch time at the time, because, Funko was actually selling good merch. And I did wish I kept those stuff intact, because I got a whole bunch of action figures that my dumbass just lost all the pieces from. I even had a whole bunch of Mick Farm sets, but I sucked with, like, I lose Legos all the time, so you know what happened to that. I wish I have none left. I think I have, like, a Molten Freddy half of like the body of a molten Freddy and that's it. I really wish I kept those sets intact because they're very valuable now, but that kind of sucks. Also, I'm going to give a fun fact about every FNAF character, so I feel like a lot of people have heard this before, but if you look at Freddy's face, it kind of looks like he has a hand, like a human hand on his face. I guess I'll talk about the actual drawing. I drawed Freddy before. I think I'm okay at it. Same with Bonnie and then Chica and Foxy. I don't think I'm that good at. I'm okay at Foxy, but Chica's just, I'm not good. I probably should have practiced a little bit more. Also, fun fact, this is in real time. This is not speed up. This is how fast I draw. I'm pretty fast at drawing. Also, Jazzwares actually does a pretty good job at this, but why does a whole bunch of companies give Freddy an upper teeth? It doesn't really look better. It just kind of looks weird. Like, sometimes it looks okay. But I see it on the Jazzwares, and I was like, wow, that just looks better. And I could talk all day about Funko and their not listening to fans. Like, people say Funko's a greedy company, but if they're so greedy, why just get stuff that people want so they can make more money? They didn't really sell good is because there was a whole bunch of recolors that people were tired of. People liked them at the start, like people didn't like them, but people still bought them. But I think they started to get less money, and if they're so greedy, just make the Wizards. You make new sculpts for weird characters that are just made up all the time. So if you did that, you would make millions. Even if Jazzwares isn't the best, like I think I like Funko's old action figures more. At least they make characters that people want. But we shouldn't talk about merch right now. We should talk about Freddy Fazbear. And also, Freddy's name is so different from the other characters because Chica, is Chica. Bonnie is Bonnie. Foxy is Foxy. Golden Freddy is called in the first game Yellow Bear. And also, when I'm finishing this guy up, I'm working on his leftover parts. He's a little short, I know, but I'm finally finished with Freddy, and he's a little short, but I'll just edit him to make him look taller. This one isn't bad. My only problem, he's a little short, but I can just stretch him out. I think I drawed Freddy better before, but this one's alright. If it wasn't the size, I think I would like him a little bit more, but again, I can easily fix that. But next is...
they send people here, to work at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
I don't think a lot of people are going to agree with me, but I think Bonnie is a little bit forgettable. Hear me out. Now, I think he's less now, but when, I first started get into FNAF, Bonnie was probably my least favorite. Freddy's, the main guy. Foxy's a pirate, and Chica has, I don't know, Chica's just kind of cool. Kind of, not really. And I kind of just forgot about Bonnie. I think the reason why I like Chica more, because I thought she was a little bit more creepier. And I guess a chicken is cooler than a bunny. I don't even know why, but I just kind of forgot about Bonnie a lot. I didn't really mind him. And also, I remember a lot of people thinking Bonnie was a girl back then. I don't know why you would think about that. He looks like a boy, I would say. You can tell Chica's a girl, but I don't even know why people even thought about that. I see a lot of people, too, saying if Bonnie's blue or purple. And he is blue just because of the light, the light. But I actually kind of like Bonnie more purple. I'm not going to lie. I think it's just a little bit of a cooler color. It just looks better on him. To be honest, I think Scott should have just made him purple, but I guess that's alright. I still like him being blue. And also on the FNAF 1 poster, you can see Bonnie, floating. And then, someone asked Scott about this, and Scott made a joke that he had, magical powers, and I think people actually believe that for a couple days. There's a lot of idiots in this world. There's a lot of idiots. Also, the fun fact about this character, this was one of the characters that Scott Cawthon had nightmares of, specifically Bonnie. And actually, he had one nightmare of Bonnie, and it actually aspired to make FNAF 4 where you're closing the doors, which is pretty cool. So if Bonnie never exists, we probably will never get FNAF 4. Now it's one of the scariest FNAF games. Probably one of the scariest games ever. I actually had a couple of nightmares before when I was little about FNAF. I do want to make a video just talking about them separately because I think that would be pretty cool. I do have one about Vanny, and it's like, well, why Vanny? It was like, okay, so this is when the game came out. I started to play it. It was the best thing ever. And I played it a couple times. And I already seen someone play it before me. And I sort of already knew what to do. So during the Vanny part, when you're in the vent, I just did that normally. And I didn't need no help with that. But then I played it like a third time. I was like, hey, I don't think I ever saw Vanny chase me. So I look behind me. She's standing still. I was like, is she glitch? And then she just jump scared me. And I did not expect that at all. But the same night, I had a nightmare of that thing. Of her doing that weird stare and it all getting all glitchy. Vanny's not a scary character at all. But that one time, it just surprised me. Actually, I'm kind of glad about Bonnie's face. I thought it would just be a copy and paste of Freddy's, but Bonnie rip off Freddy's ears and add his ears. I'm glad I did a new one. I actually think it's not that bad. By the way, I don't think this video is going to come out in time because I swear, I thought this would be an easy, fun video of me just drawing, but these are actually taking me a long time. I thought this would take me 20 minutes at most. But these things are taking me an hour. And it looks like I'm only taking, I'll say speed this up, but it looks like I'm not taking a long time, but do it. It actually is pretty hard. These take a long time to do. But, anyways, Bonnie is finished. I like this 10 times more than Freddy. I think I did a really good job at Bonnie. I don't really like his hands, but other than that, he's not that bad. I actually kind of like him. But now we got anyways, Chica time. Now I feel like a lot of people just think of Chica being the girl. Which is kind of funny because her name is actually like a girl name and girl in a different language, I forgot, but that's a little bit interesting. Which is pretty funny because over there they just call her girl. Just imagine that. Who's your favorite FNAF character? Girl. And I also feel like a lot of companies just pick, if they do a Chica, they always pick Toy Chica. Just look at Funko's plushie. It doesn't even match with the other ones. It has toes for some reason. I feel like the freaking Cupcake gets more respect than Chica, which, to be honest, Cupcake's pretty cool. Especially in the movie, but we can't talk about him yet. Also, Chica gotta be one of the laziest animatronics ever. First of all, she's very disrespectful. If I had to clean up the kitchen every day after she wrecked it, I would be pretty pissed off. Just imagine that. You wake up, you go to work, and every night the kitchen's messy. You don't know what it's from because they're probably not going to tell you. Probably think it's the night guard fucking around. Sorry, my language. But still, Chica, clean up after yourself. And you gotta be kidding me. She just sits there. She probably gets a couple snacks in there. She, gets a snack break before she even kills you. And in the movie, she's so lazy, she just lets her Cupcake do everything for her. Also, for some reason, and I don't know why it's Chica specifically, but she has some of the worst merch you could ever think of. Freddy has a couple bad ones. I would say he's maybe second, but, he's Freddy. He's going to get all the merch possible. Chica, how do you mess him up her that bad? Now that I think about it, there's not a lot to say about Chica. I don't really have a lot of stories with her. I guess she's, if you take off her body, and just leave her head, she kind of looks like an Angry Bird. That's kind of cool, right? Right? So, I guess I'll do the fun fact. If you go to the stage cam and look very, very closely, you can see a little glitch. Now, this is kind of cool. That means Bonnie has one, he floats. Freddy has one because he has this weird hand thing. And Chica has one. Pretty cool. Also, I gave Chica a pizza because I felt like my Chica was made too fat. And I feel like, well, I really don't want to work 20 more minutes on the body. So I'm going to make her extra fat by giving her a slice of pizza. So, Chica, you're the first one, and you're going to get two because I'm going to add Cupcake soon. Since I'm working on Cupcake, I guess I'll give him a fun fact. Did you know Cupcake kills more people in the Fnaf movie, that being 2 people, than Freddy? By the way, Freddy only killed 1 person in the movie. And the movie's called Five Nights at Freddy's. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. And also, if you're wondering why I gave her those spooky eyes, first of all, because the spooky eyes are cool. Second of all, I feel like Chica wouldn't really look good with those eyes, and Chica maybe make her a little bit unique, I guess. But also the real reason, it's just because the eyes are a pain in the ass. Pain in the butt. Whatever. I was lucky enough to get Bonnie's right, but Freddy's is not even that good. And, well, Freddy's is just dots, so I am kind of glad I did those weird eyes. And they're more creepy. And how come, I understand this is like forever ago, but for some reason, why were these not in the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 movie? And why not put them in the Five Nights at Freddy's 2? I never understand that. I never do. But anyways, let's finish up Chica, and here's the finished result. I actually, at the beginning, I did not really like it. I didn't really like the face, but when I finished it, Chica might be my favorite so far. I'm not joking. But anyways, now we got... Okay, so for the meme, I looked it up, and I only could find Withered Foxy ones. And, Withered Foxy is not normal Foxy, so that's why it's just an image of him saying booty and it saying Foxy. It's pretty crappy, but anyways, let's talk about this guy. So Foxy's a pretty cool guy. When I started learning about Five Nights at Freddy's, Foxy wasn't my favorite, which I was surprised. I think my favorite was probably Freddy, but I think Foxy was my second. And I gotta admit, his jump scare is terrible. It runs at you, but he doesn't go full towards you for some reason. Also, that theory that Foxy was actually a good guy and he was less about to check up on you, but you gave him a heart attack, or no, he gave you a heart attack, which I could somehow see that, but then Fnaf 2 came around, and honestly, as we know, Foxy ain't the nice guy in Fnaf 2. Also, I would admit, Foxy's designs in each game are pretty good up to this location, which, Funtime Foxy is, I guess, okay, one of the most basic fun times there, but all of those, like FNAF 1, FNAF 2, FNAF 3, even Phantom Foxy are all really good. And I guess I'll do the fun fact. So, there's actually a couple of them. The first one is Foxy was going to be a wolf, which actually kind of happened. And also, Foxy was actually not supposed to be withered, and he actually was just going to be a normal animatronic, but Scott Coffin didn't want the game to get delayed or anything, so he brought his computer with him on a road trip, and that was pretty bumpy, so when he was working on Foxy, it got all messed up, but instead of throwing that away, he actually, fixed it, left it there, and then made Foxy withered, which that's why a lot of people like him. There you go, all those Foxy fans, you get 2 fun facts. That means you gotta like and subscribe 2 times. I don't know how you're gonna do that, but you have to, because I gave you 2 facts. But anyways, let's keep working on Foxy. Also, you know how the kids are stuffed in the suits, and that's how they closed the pizzeria in the first place, is because, they stunk. Well, how does that even work for Foxy? I just had to say that. Just look at him. You can see right through his chest. But anyways. Endoskeleton. Now, I was actually going to plan on doing Golden Freddy and then the endoskeleton. But the endoskeleton's kind of a weird design, and I kind of want to get them over with. And also, I don't really like my Freddy drawing, so I kind of want to make up for that by doing Golden Freddy because he's basically a recolor. Now, the fun fact about the endoskeleton, Endo 01, that's what's normally called. Did you know that the design of the endoskeleton does not make any sense at all? Like, realistically, this wouldn't work. I've actually seen a lot of people kind of fix his design, which I guess it's alright. I know it's not, they couldn't realistically make this, but I actually like his design. I don't know why you need to fix it. There is one part of his design that's pretty weird. So for some reason he has a mouth, and realistically, why is that there? Because it also makes him more creepier, like the animatronics, but you wouldn't want that in a pizzeria. You don't need the mouth because the mouth's already on the suit. It doesn't make any sense to me. Other than that, there's nothing really talk about the endoskeleton. First, you can see there's like this cool render of him that comes up every once in a while. So I guess he might be possessed, but he could be not. I don't know. Also in Fnaf world, he's pretty good, like at the beginning, but then when you get into 02, you kind of place him. So he's kind of good in Fnaf world. By the way, Endo 02 is just like 100 times better than Endo 01. I'm sorry, but I think Endo 2 is a lot cooler. And also, sadly, he was like the only character to not be in the FNAF movie. Like, come on, you had Sparky there, but you didn't have Endo. Like, I know he was hiding in the shadows every once in a while, but that even looked like Endo. Here's the finished result. I think he looks okay. I think he could do better, but he's Endo. Who really cares?
What you're saying, but
I'm Golden Freddy. I like to scare, and when I scare, I become a nightmare.
Anyways, Golden Freddy time. Okay, I have to say this about him. He is, hear me out, one of the best Easter eggs in any game ever. It reminds me of Sonic DXC or SpongeBob. What do they call them again? I forgot. But those creepy lost tape, you could call, videos. And those were really popular at the time. And Golden Freddy was exactly that, but it was actually real. And also, his design is so good. Like, I know he's sort of a recolor Freddy, but he's so different and unique to Freddy, unlike Withered Golden Freddy. And also, why did they do Golden Freddy so dirty in the movie? He's not even in the second one. I don't know why they did him like that. He looks terrible. He looks so weird. He doesn't even look like Golden Freddy. I think the reason why is because they try to combine normal Golden Freddy and Withered Golden Freddy. But then that means Withered Golden Freddy is not even in the second movie. But speaking of good designs, I actually do kind of like the AR one. I know it's just like a really gold Freddy, but I kind of like it, just actual gold Freddy. Pretty funny. I like him. Now that I look at the AR skin more, for some reason, his endoskeleton's like really rusty. For some weird reason. And also, Golden Freddy's fun fact, he used to be called Yellow Bear. I think I actually said that before in this video. Like, when I was working on, I don't know, don't go back. Don't go back. That's gonna be Golden Freddy's fun fact. I guess I'll talk about the drawing itself. So, at the beginning here, I tried to do, like, the sitting pose. But instead, it took me a bit, actually, to figure out what to do. But I thought I would do this. I know it's not like his legs are a little bit weird, but I guess it's fine. And I should be finished now. What I tried to do is make it look like it's a weird angle you're at, but I guess it's a little weird looking. It kind of just looks like he has a small leg and a smaller arm, but it's fine. But other than that, I think I did a pretty good job. I am finally done drawing every FNAF character. I can just sit and... actually, you forgot Phone Guy. Very, very funny. You really think I'm gonna draw a...
I put your new 4Gs on the G. I came into the bloody.
I'm just gonna give him a fun fact. He's voiced by Scott Coffin, the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's. Really cool. Also, the phone's kind of blue, you can tell, in Ultimate Custom Night, yeah, You know, it looks like a phone, alright. That is a phone. Well, that's it. Right now, what you liking? Not this guy again. You forgot the fan and the cup on the office decks. Fine, but after that, I'm done. And also, there's definitely no memes of the fan or the cup, so we're just going to start. I guess I'll say my fun facts. So for the fan, the reason why we drain power by doing nothing is because the fan is on. So if we just turn off the fan, we won't be wasting any power. Or a lot less power than I would say, or whatever. And then we got this cup. I can't remember what color it's supposed to be, but they don't make these in real life. That's a fun fact. Well, I'm actually finally all done. If this video even just gets 5 likes, I'll love to do part 2. This video took me forever to make, but still, I really do. So, hopefully this video at least does decent. And if I do get to Fnaf 2, it's gonna be terrible. I have the toys, I have the withers, there's just so many characters, and the Easter egg characters, oh my gosh. But anyways, like and subscribe, because I really want a part 2. Also, I don't really want a part 2, so I don't even know, but bye.